Welcome to the Chronicles of the Christian Drama Queen podcast. I'm your host and the original Christian Drama Queen, Lisa Schaefer, and I'm glad that you are here. I can promise you, I know what it's like to think like a lover of Jesus and live like a hot mess every day. And if you can relate, then you're in the right place. Everything from the craziness of homeschooling my kids to overcoming deep wounds of abandonment and abuse. Stay with me, sister. I have walked down those paths and I've got decades of healing and hope. God has called me to share it with you. So here we go. So glad you guys are here. So I'll probably cry a little bit in this one. I'll probably cry a little bit in this one. This one is for all the single moms out there who have been both mother and father to their children. And this one hits very, very close to home. Because that's how my mother raised me. She was not just my mom, but she was both parents. She had to be both parents. So for all the single moms out there, first of all, let me tell you, most of you are heroes. Most of you are heroes. Most of you are working hard enough and long enough to take care of your kids on your own. Many of you are being disciplinarian and nurturer, both. For those of us that homeschool kids, it was real common for, me to be the softie and to, I was the teacher for my kids when I homeschooled. So if there was a discipline problem, I sent them to the principal. The principal was my husband. So that was kind of, it's tough to be both nurturer and the softie and still be the disciplinarian. So for those of you, the single moms out there that are doing it all, let me tell you, I know what you're doing. Not because I've had to experience it. I've been really fortunate. My husband and I have been together for 38 years. We've raised our children together. We haven't always done it well. We haven't always been perfect. Nobody is. Nobody raises their children perfectly. And one of the things that I talk about in my Bible study, Discarded, A Daughter's Journey to Reclaim Freedom and Forgive the Father Who Left Her Behind. In that study, I talk a little bit about this need that I had to be a people pleaser. I wanted to make sure that I never told my children no, because that might mean they wouldn't love me, right? I would be driving them away. The truth of the matter is, there's the reason why God talks to us about, the rod of discipline, and to be quite honest with you, I'm not convinced that verse even pertains to children, but in theory, let's talk about disciplining our kids and setting boundaries on them. The reason that we do that, the reason that we set those boundaries is to provide them a sense of security, not because we want to beat them or spank them or whatever, but whatever punishment we give to them. My favorite was always taking away things that they tended to be addicted to, like gaming and TV and friends. So I would try to institute a lot of grounding. And so that was one of the things that I would do. I'm of the opinion at this point in time, I don't know. I've got 3 adult kids. So I don't know how I feel. I'll spend some time later on this. But the reason we discipline is to provide them with a sense of security. And so for moms who want to nurture and make them feel better after they have boo-boos, to have to be both disciplinarian and nurturer as parent is difficult. But listen, let me encourage you, it has to be done. It has to be done. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about my mom. So this will be a dedication to my mother, who was also my father. So my mother and father got divorced when I was almost 2, and she raised me alone, clear up pretty much. She had, yeah, pretty much until I was 16 years old. She got remarried when I was 15 or 16. He didn't have a whole lot to do with raising me. In fact, he was not good at it. He was, that's a whole nother podcast. We will do that another time. but, but let me just tell you that for most of my formative years, it was my mom and my brother and me. And she was both parents to us. We had some amazing times together, the three of us. And I can remember when we lived in Wichita, traveling to the drive-in, which, I think we had 3 drive-ins back then. I want to say the Meadowlark and for sure the K-47, and I can't remember another one. But the one that we used to go to now is called the Stardust. It's still there in Wichita. It is still there. And we would run through the closest taco place. I can't remember what it's called. My mom will say, oh, it's Taco Fats or it's Taco John's or it's Tacos. I don't remember what it was. I think it was Taco Pete's. But I don't know that for sure. It was always his taco's always attached to a word. I'm not a name. We always have like this. There's like a moniker. It's a Taco Pete. Anyway, so we went. We would get like 20 tacos for for 25 cents a piece. I'm going to date myself. I'm really dating myself. For 25 cents a piece, we would stock up on all these tacos. And we would head to the drive-in, my mom and my brother and me, and we'd get into the drive-in for what, $3 or $4 or $5 a car load into the drive-in. And we would spread a blanket out on the ground in front of the car. And my mom would sit in the car, but my brother and I would sit on the outside of the car in the front with pillows and blankets on the rocks. Yes. I would never do that now. I mean, we've got too many snowflakes. You can't have any snowflake kids going to the drive-in and laying on the ground. Anyway, so we would take that big bag of tacos and we'd go watch 3 or 4 movies, and on a weekend. And we did that all the time. I remember one time my mom actually frying chicken and deep frying her own homemade French fries. She got a brand new fryer, and she made fried chicken and French fries. And she put them in these plastic baskets with lots of paper towels to soak up all that grease. It was the best thing ever. And we went to the drive-in with that, with dinner. My mom did not have a helpmeet. She didn't have somebody to do things with that was her partner. She had me and my brother. Now, my grandparents were close by and they were really great. My grandfather was one of those, you need a SWAT, you go out and find the greenest switch you can find and you bring it to me because I'm going to SWAT you. I think he did it once. And my grandmother did the same thing, but by the time and I knew if I waited a really good long time, she'd forget. And she did. So I don't remember her ever swatting me with one of them green switches when I was a kid. So my grandparents were close by and we had them, and they did their best. And my granddad was dad to me. I called him dad. And my mom called him dad when I was little. So I thought that was his name was. So I called him dad. He was an amazing guy. And now she's married to an amazing guy who lets me call him dad. But when we were growing up and we were kids, it was just the 3 of us. And sometimes it felt like it was just the 3 of us against the world. I remember one time I believe we were living in Oklahoma at the time in an apartment, and we were living in the upstairs apartment. I can't remember. Were we in the upstairs apartment? We were in the upstairs apartment and there was a fire in the downstairs apartment, or we were in the downstairs apartment and there was a fire in the upstairs apartment. I can't remember. I just remember coming home and everything in our home was destroyed by smoke. She was probably working late and had picked us up at a sitter. I'm almost guaranteeing it because she worked all the time. We moved a lot because every time she'd do a good job working for a financing company, they would send her to a new office. So here's what her job was. She was a collector. Listen, there's a gift to that. If you're a good collector and you do it without belittling people and making people feel like crud, that's a gift. And so she would go to these offices in these small towns, and she would be an amazing collector and bring their delinquencies down to, 1 or 2% or whatever it was. And they'd move her to a new office. So I can remember over the course of, between the ages of 5 and 13, I think we moved 5 or 6 times because she always had to take the promotion. Listen, there was nobody to sit and talk to and say, well, should we move in order to take this promotion? No. She was the breadwinner. She had to do it. She had to take the promotion because she was struggling to take care of 2 kids by herself. And listen, there was no child support back then. In the 60s and 70s, no child support. The state was not forcing people to pay child support for the children they had brought into this world by docking their pay, by putting a garnishment on their wages. It wasn't happening back then. So there was no child support. My dad got off scot-free. He was gone and that was it, right? He didn't support any of the other 8 children he supposedly brought into the world either. So I don't know what those moms did. I just know what mine did. And she worked. She worked hard, and she taught me some amazing skills. First of all, she taught me to take care of my business. You take care of your business. If you've got debts, if you've got bills, if you've got what you have to do to take care of your business. Okay. I really struggle with that today, even, so like taxes, I'm terrible at making sure my taxes are done on time. I'm terrible at it. I'm not so bad about paying bills. Bills I've got under control, but there for the longest time, I did not. And I knew I should have. I know I was supposed to. I knew I should have, and I knew I was supposed to. She taught me to do that. For mothers who have to be fathers to their children, they have to not only talk to their girls about life, you know what I'm saying? You picking up what I'm putting down? They have to talk to their sons about life, about the importance of honesty and integrity and sacrifice, about the importance of taking care of your business, taking care of your children. How do you tell your sons how to be good fathers when you as a woman are the only father they have ever known, right? So for my mom, who fried chicken and homemade French fries, for my mom, who taught me how to be frugal and shop at the Goodwill for just about everything. I don't buy anything new. I'm such a cheapskate. I do not buy anything new because my mom taught me you didn't have to. You could be smarter than that with your money. To my mom, who taught me all the issues of life, warned me against not having self-respect, who warned me and yet still forgave me and embraced me when I screwed it up. To my mom, who taught me how to be a mom. Happy Mother's Day, Mom. You're amazing. I love you. And I couldn't have asked. I couldn't have asked for anyone better to be my mom. Thank you. And happy Mother's Day. And I guess that's going to do it for me today, guys. Thanks for joining me today on the Chronicles of the Christian Drama Queen podcast. I am your host, Lisa Schaefer. There are lots of ways to find me on social media. Of course, I'm on Facebook, and I'm also available on YouTube. I have my own YouTube channel. It's called Christian Drama Queen. You can go check out the videos of these podcasts right there on that YouTube channel. There's a website that you can go to just find out a little bit more about me. It's ChristianDramaQueen.com, and you can always email me, same place, Lisa@ChristianDramaQueen.com. Don't forget to share me with a friend, guys. Like me, shoot me some hearts, fill out those comments, make sure that you've given me a rating or a review of some sort, because listen, the only way that other people find out we're here is for you to let them know that I'm here. And listen, we not only appreciate that, we really believe that God's going to use it. And I love you.